First thing you're gonna do is open Photoshop. From there, what you're gonna do is click up on File, Open. You're gonna use the dialog box that comes up to find the image that you wish to edit. Now that's one way of opening an image. The other way is to use your computer files to find the image and then open it in Photoshop. One thing I suggest doing is converting your background layer to a regular style layer. That way you can organize it into a group. In order to do that, you right click on the background layer in your layers property panel. That'll bring up a little dialog menu and you want to select layer from background, which will bring up a menu there, and you just type in the name you want, and you can change some features if you want, but you click OK. Then it becomes a layer that you can move into groups. If you want to do that, it really comes in handy if you're doing something like a composite image. That way you can have all of your original images in a group so that you can turn off their visibility. If you want to rename your layer, what you do is you right click on that layer. That'll bring up a menu. You'll pick layer properties, and then that'll open a dialog. From there you just type in the name you want. In order to add a group, what you're going to do is on the lower right hand corner of Photoshop, right below the layer properties, you'll see a little folder icon. If you click that, then up pops a folder or group, and you can click on that and rename it, and that is your group that you will later add things to. In order to duplicate a group, what you're going to do is go to your layer property panel there again, select the group you want to duplicate, right click on it and go to duplicate layer. That's going to bring up a dialog menu. You enter the name you want and press OK. That's going to duplicate the group, which means not only the group but all of its contents as well. In order to add an adjustment layer, once again you're going to go to the lower right hand corner of the layers property panel and click on the little half dark, half white circle, and that'll pop up a list of different adjustments you can do to your image, and you're going to select the appropriate one at the time, and that'll then bring up, then within the adjustment panel, which is right above the layer properties, you can start editing your image. Now, an adjustment layer doesn't affect the image, it only creates a layer that affects the images below it. So this isn't really altering your original image. That's why it is better to do it this way rather than just do it. Edited an image to the point where you like it. One of the last things you have to do is to make sure that only the portions that you want to keep are visible before you flatten the image and turn it into a JPEG. And in order to do that, you will see down in the layer properties panel those little boxes with the eyeballs in them. Any property you don't want to be a part of your image, make sure that there is no eyeball in that box. By clicking on it, you can turn layers on and off by clicking on those boxes. Proper workflow in Adobe Photoshop requires you to have multiple copies of your file saved. Now, one thing you want to do is you always want to keep a PSD. That's a natural Photoshop document. That keeps all the layers and the information. Now, when you're done with an image, you should always save either a JPEG or a TIFF. And how you do this is you go File, Save As, and in the dialog menu box you'll see a file type. You can change that to many different types. Another suggestion is to always include the words in progress at the end of a file if it is in progress, final if it's the final, and just keep the original as the original name. The versions you should have at all times of an image are original, in progress, and final.